Crap Crow! We are fucking back! Oh, man. I mean, Jesus Christ, dude. How long has it been since we've done an episode with just both of us? Full-length episode with just both of us. This is how this shit started.
Yeah.
And now it's been ages. Like, that's insane to me. It's insane to me. But in fairness to us, you know, a lot of our early episodes, especially the ones that weren't on video, because we got forced on video basically because of the pandemic. A lot of those were about concerts we had just been to. And then, of course, the entire time we've been on video, we haven't been able to go to any fucking concerts. Yeah. So it's been quite a while, in fairness, since we've had an adventure that we've been on together for us to get on here and talk about. Of course, you know, we did our Christmas specials. We did a lot of really great stuff. Last year was amazing, really, actually. Yeah.
Best it could have been with whatever was going on.
Considering the situation, we made the best that it could have been. Absolutely. So, but we did have an adventure. So we figured we'd do a little episode about it. What was it? Was it last weekend?
It was.
Or 2 weekends. It had to have been 2 weekends ago now. I feel.
2 weeks today, actually.
2 weeks ago today.
Yeah.
For us, right? Everybody else will be seeing this later. Yeah. But 2 weeks ago today for us, it was Aaron's birthday weekend, and him and I went up to celebrate his birthday in Mackinaw City, Michigan. And we kind of turned it into quite the adventure. We had quite an extraordinary time up there, really. So we left we left probably like somewhere in between 11 and 1 on that Friday, right?
Yeah. Actually, I'm sorry, it was a week from 2 weeks from Thursday, but either way, Friday.
Okay. And then but we did so we you live in, where do you live? Mason?
Yeah, about 20 minutes from there.
Or Weberville. Where do you live? What town's what's your town?
I'm out in Williamston right now.
Williamston. I was fucking up. You're in Williamston. I'm in Lansing. So Mackinaw City from us is typically about a straight shot straight north. There's one road you can take all the way north. It's about 3 to 3.5 hours depending on traffic. So we leave and we make our first stop. I wish I had something here to show you guys from it, but we make our first stop because there's this legendary place on US 127 here in Michigan called Brick House Jerky. It's like a legendary fucking beef jerky or jerky in general place because they have every kind of jerky. And it's the kind of place where it's like, for people that live in Lansing, you only ever really pass it when you're going up north. And it's kind of so like for a lot of people, I feel it's the kind of place where it's like you pass it and it's like every time you pass it, you're like, next time I'm going there. And then you never do. Well, Aaron and I finally did. And it was outstanding. They had seriously some of the greatest jerky selection I've ever seen in my life. And that buffalo jerky is addicting. Like I need more of it soon. Put it that way. This shit is so fucking good. Absolutely outstanding. So massive shout out to Brick House Jerky.
It's type of place where you can it's just you could get your basic stuff, or you could get like the super obscure
they got
gator,
snake, gator, ostrich. Kangaroo. It's the craziest shit ever. It's so wild. It's fucking awesome though. They got the exotics. The exotics. They also got pasties. They also got they got Mackinaw Island fudge. They got crazy candies. They got all kinds of what I didn't, and it is, I will admit, for anybody that's watching this in Michigan that knows the place I'm talking about that might want to stop there. I will admit it's a little bit more pricey than I anticipated. But knowing what I know now, next time I'll go in there prepared, and I will be stocking up. So yeah. So that was our first stop. That was our first stop on the trip. And then we take a little detour. We actually added about hour 45 to 2 hours onto our trip because right there, right? I don't know which way you people are seeing this, but this is Michigan. This is our map. This is what we use as a map right here in Michigan. Mackinaw City is right here. We went like over, there's this little like weird little cove that dips in right here and a little peninsula that comes out. And then up right over here, there's like another little peninsula called the Leelanau Peninsula. And there is a place there that I personally had been wanting to visit for about 3 years at that point. It's about how long I knew of its existence. Because it was about that long ago that I learned that there was a place in Michigan that made something called the Michigan Dogman Moonshine. Okay. The Michigan. Okay. There you go. Okay. The Michigan Dogman Moonshine, 100 proof. And I had to, I found a bottle once out, not like just I think it was, shit, I can't remember the name of the city, but it was just south of Flint, like a couple cities south of Flint. There was like a pretty good liquor store out there, and I found a bottle of it once. And ever since I found it, I was like, I read, I read the label or whatever, Northern Latitudes Distillery, Leelanau Peninsula. I got to go there. We finally go there. Aaron and I decided to take a little detour on our trip, and we go there. And I got to tell you, like, it was one of, man, after a year of straight up lockdown, after no concerts, after, for people like us, because people like us are in our nature, I feel like we're both fairly social recluses in a lot of ways. We're not, we're outgoing, but like, we're not like social butterflies either. You know what I'm saying? But
still people still need that social interaction, but
exactly.
It doesn't.
And for people like us, pretty much the only social interaction we get on a typical basis is either we go out, we have fun at a bar and we meet people, or we go to a fucking concert. And both of those were ripped away from us for the past 14 months now. All of our social, so that means all of our social interaction, anything, was ripped away. And I know it was for a lot of other people, but a lot of other people were still able, because when we go to a show, it's an extreme situation. It's not people chilling. You know what I mean? It's an extreme situation. It's like a thing for us. It's like a release. It's a release valve. It's not just going out to a show. It's not just going to be social and stand perfectly still with a drink, perfectly safe, watching some nice happy little music playing. No, we're getting violent, motherfuckers. So like, and to go a whole year without that was extremely difficult. So like, this experience of going up to this distillery and, having not been to any restaurants, really anywhere outside of a grocery store or a pharmacy or something, whatever, hardware store, pet store. These are the only places I've been to in the last year. It was really special to finally be standing in front of, to take a picture with you in front of that sign that I've seen so much on social media, and then to walk in. All right, to walk in and to be greeted in the way that we were, by the most friendly fucking people like ever. And for their first words to be like, would you like a free tasting? Like, sign me up, yo. Like,
say less.
Like, it was an incredible experience. And while they had everything set up very safely, social distance, screens, we were still able, at least for a moment, to stand at a bar, a wooden bar, and be served by a bartender a few sampler shots of what they have to offer. It was just like, they were so wonderful. They were so nice. Everything we tried was incredible. Like it was like everything about that experience was magical to me. And we even went at a point in time where it was only like 2 weeks ago, but like today it was almost 90 out. When we went up there, it was like high of 50. So like it was still pretty chilly. So if we were to go up there now, we'd be able to sit out on the patio, look at the water while we have our margaritas, our Dogman moonshine margaritas. You know what I mean? Like we even went up there at not necessarily peak time, and we still had this incredible, wonderful experience to the point where we're both excited to go back before the end of the summer. Like it was fantastic.
Yeah. Because like outside of just the regular trips up to the store and stuff, like like you said, I don't really get a whole lot of like outside interaction except for like the job and stuff. But even then, that's
you go to work.
Yeah.
Like, so you got to still deal with customers and shit. I don't even have that.
Yeah. But that's that's different than going somewhere and actually like being served and being like offered something and like like you say, as soon as we walked in, there was like you're like, oh hey, how are you? Like it was complete. And like funny side note, like the funniest part of it was like about an hour before that we were in like this I don't remember where we stopped off at, but we had to go in like some gas station or something.
Yeah.
And like it was as if I was like an alien because I walked in with a mask on and nobody else had one on. And it was like you have that side and then you have like the side that's like hospitable and like I don't know if that's the right term, but
yeah. And it wasn't even only that to me, and it's because maybe sometimes I'm especially maybe after the last year, maybe I'm a little bit over conscious of it or whatever, but like I am I do try to be conscious of, and this is what I want to say specifically for our potential audience here, because we are fucking metalheads and we dress like them, right? I have 3 chains on right now with all this shit too. And all this shit, like I got all kinds of shit on and I'm dressed in all black constantly with crazy t-shirts on. I walked into that place like that and they greeted me like I was their family member. And that means the world to me. Like every time that happens, where they just immediately look past all that shit and they're just like, oh, like this, you know what I mean? Like that means something to me because I, like millions and millions of others, when I dress the way I dress and walk into a Walmart, I notice the guy following me around. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I know tons of other people do too, but like to dress the way that we dress and to walk in and be greeted like that, it was, I do feel like I have to make a mention of that because this is a heavy metal podcast. And like, I am conscious of that shit. So like when I have an extraordinarily positive experience with someone or with a business, and they they treat me the way that the people there treated me, it's extra special to me. You know what I mean? It means something, especially in way deep as fuck butt fuck northern Michigan, where they're probably not used to seeing a whole lot of metalheads. So you know what I mean? Like all that. we were deep, bro. We were deep. So like all those things combined, I just feel like it's worth mentioning. Like, and it wasn't just the person that greeted it was every single employee there, like treated us, like we'd been there a million times. Like it was just so, man, it was so awesome. Like they like, I don't really give a fuck about how far away it is. Like that's how good they made the experience. I don't really give a fuck how far away it is. I'm willing to go back there. It's a day trip, like pretty much any day. Like I'd go back up there just for a day, go up there, hang out for a couple hours and come back. Like that would be sick. Like, I mean, it was outstanding experience. So I cannot, and also I did get a bottle of their Deer Camp straight bourbon whiskey, which as you can see is gone. Both these bottles are empty for the record. But I cannot recommend the Northern Latitudes Distillery in Leelanau, Michigan enough. They are an amazing business. They have amazing spirits, like some of the best shit I've ever tasted. Their Northern Latitudes bourbon, that's what I want to go back up. I want another bottle of this, and I want a bottle of their Northern Latitudes bourbon, because that sampler I had was it was. I might have to do a taste test between that and Buffalo Trace and you know how much I love Buffalo Trace. Yeah. Like that shit was up there with that. Like it was so fucking good. They have an amazing gift shop, amazing like bar restaurant area, amazing patio out on the water. Like everything about it was just like nothing but wonderful, man. Like I loved it, and I can't wait to go back. And that was our first major stop.
Yeah.
That's kind of what kicked the weekend off in a lot of ways. Man. And then from there, we travel our final 2 hours to Mackinaw City. Fucking jamming the whole way. We get to Mackinaw, and now for people that don't know this, actually, I don't think I've ever said this on the podcast. I believe it was 2008. Had to have been 2007 or 8. My grandfather on my mom's side passes away. And he wanted his ashes spread at a certain spot. And I'm not going to disclose that location, but it was up there. And so my mom's whole side of the family goes up there that October. And we spread his ashes. And then for many years following that, it became a family tradition for all of us to go up there and party and have a good time in October. So for many, many years, I was going up there, and the first hotel that we stayed in was probably my favorite. And at this point, you're driving. You pull into the hotel, and it's that hotel. The first one I stayed in with my family when we started going up there for our tradition. We no longer do it, sadly, but it was a thing for quite a few years. And we pull into that hotel, and I just start losing my mind. I'm like, this is amazing. I can't believe we're in this one. We get up to the fucking room, dude. We got a fucking balcony, like looking out over the gorgeous water. Like immediately I was like, this is gonna be one of the best fucking weekends we've had in well over a year. Like what were you feeling at that point?
I don't know.
You had just checked into a hotel by yourself for the first time. I can screen share. I've got your pictures pulled up on Facebook right now. I'll screen share that shit in a second. But what was it like for you? You had just driven in the upper part of the lower peninsula of Michigan, driven through those roads for the first time, made it to Mackinac, and just checked into a hotel by yourself for the first time, which for the record, Mackinac is the same place the first place I ever rented a hotel myself as an adult about 3-4 years ago with an ex-girlfriend, but this was your first time as well. What was going through your head? What was all this like for you?
I was honestly, because for the longest time up until that point, and it was like, is we'd only talked about this for about a month or like a month and a half, maybe.
It was actually maybe like a couple of weeks, bro.
Yeah. Because my birthday was coming up, and I didn't really have any plans for it or anything like that.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing, and then the opportunity came up to take a trip somewhere, and I was like, yes, I don't care where, I need to see something different. So like, yeah, when we got there, just kind of like one of the first things I remember we did was like went out on the little balcony thing there. I cracked a beer open and I was like, all right, I made it. Kind of shit. So that was cool. Yeah, just to have that kind of, that kind of like, it took me a little bit to kind of relax after all that, because like you're so into like the hustle of just getting to where you want to be at.
Yeah.
At like when you finally get there, you're like, all right, well, what now, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, that was awesome, man. Like I said, I was just happy to be somewhere else for a while, So
out of Lansing, finally. Yeah. No, 100%. And it is and then we went to one of my favorite restaurants up there personally. First time either of us have eaten in a restaurant since the pandemic started. It was the Dixie Saloon. It's a giant, it's one of the major restaurants in Mackinaw City. Beautiful building, all wood. Everything's wood.
It's very comfortable in there.
Very comfortable. They had everything very safe, very, socially distanced, and dividers up everywhere and everything like that. And which was a nice thing to kind of walk into after not really being sure what it was going to be like. Oh, we were both on the border of anxiety attacks before we opened that door. We're like, are we sure we should do this? I don't know. We had our first shot, but we haven't had our second yet. I don't know. Like it was serious, but like we did it, and it felt great. It felt so great. It felt so great that first night, and then we had dinner there, and then we just, it was already pretty late at that point, for Mac, not for us, but for Mackinaw, because everything up there closes super early. But then we go back to the room, we have a few more drinks, we're right like on this awesome boardwalk like that goes out into the water. We're like, let's go down there and smoke a fucking joint. We get about 50 yards.
We weren't even halfway there.
We weren't even halfway out. It was so fucking cold and windy. We're like, done. Let's go back. Fuck this. We'll go back to the room. We'll take some dabs in the balcony. We're good.
Well, I was surprised at how well off I was, because I didn't think I packed enough, but I was like, all right, well, if we're doing this, like, I got the long sleeve, I got the hoodie, and I got like a winter jacket, like a heavy winter coat.
Oh my god, dude! It cracked me up so hard. I don't know if you noticed, but I was like kind of dying inside because when I travel somewhere, like if I'm traveling somewhere for only 2 nights, I can live out of a backpack, no problem. The only reason I brought my duffel bag is because I knew I needed the podcast equipment. The only reason. You show up with duffel bags, box fans, coolers. Like, I was like, what the fuck?
That's just what I'm used to taking on trips, man. I'm like,
I was like, and when I saw it, I was like, this is, I didn't expect it, but I was like, I should have, because like this is what my family has always taken on trips. But I was like, whoa, like it was hilarious to me. I was like, all right, we're good. Like it was that was fucking hilarious to me. But yeah, like you definitely packed heavier than I did.
Well, it was honestly like the morning of, and I was packing all that stuff up, and I was like, do I really need this? And I was like, I was so glad by the time we got there and everything, I was so glad that I just grabbed it. I was like, all right, sure, it's better to have it than than not. So
absolutely. But you know, it's just 100%. It's always better to have it than not. But you know, I just I'm very I try to be as minimalist as I can when I travel.
yeah. Well,
And
that was being minimal for me. That was like is the thing.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's like that's what's funny to me. Is like I was like he'll probably show up with like a backpack, maybe a duffel bag. I had no idea, but it was awesome. It was awesome. It was fucking awesome. But so yeah, we get up there, we have dinner, we walk out on the boardwalk. It's too fucking cold and way too windy. We couldn't have even lit it with Zippos. And so we go back to the room. And we just party the rest of that night.
Well, all right. So I lost the drinking game is what happened that night.
I was wondering if you're gonna say something.
Yeah, man.
A little bit.
All right. So
it was your birthday. You didn't have to. Man. You didn't need to pace yourself, but maybe you shouldn't have had the beer. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. So yeah, but basically, we started watching the Eric Andre movie, and
that shit is funny.
Yeah,
that was a good movie.
What the first half hour I remember of it was good, but
finish it. It's good. It was funny.
Yeah,
we were both laughing.
Yeah, so that night kind of ended pretty ugly, and as a result,
someone was worshiping the porcelain goddess. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, in a very real way that I didn't expect, you know. But and as a result, it kind of like I don't know, kind of spoiled a little bit of my appetite the rest of the weekend.
It's what always happens. You always go too hard the first night. It's what always happens.
Yeah.
It happens every time.
Yeah.
Every time I go to Preston's.
Yeah.
I
just like, you know, it was like I don't know if it was just the combination of like it was the first night we got there. It was just I was just excited as fuck. Like
it was a combination of the margarita, the alcohol, and the beer.
Yeah, there was a lot of and I remember saying to you before, I was like, I'd never do that.
Yeah,
like I always like ride the line of it, you know, because like I don't like throwing up. Basically, is what
nobody does. Come on.
Yeah, and so that happened, but yeah, so that's just kind of a funny story. Really, like
it was.
I guess like the only thing that, and really we didn't even plan it this way. It wasn't even like the way it was, but like we just, you know, just it was more just to kind of go up and just see what was available, really, because like we didn't know. Like it was hard to even plan anything out for the week because it's like, well, things are still kind of weird. Things are still kind of shut down, and we
really had no plans. We didn't know, and not only that, we were going up there before it was in season for them.
Yeah.
So like some stuff was still kind of like closed up, you know, because I feel like opening up there is probably Memorial Day, you know.
Yeah.
Something like that. And I know they go through October, so end of season is probably close to Halloween.
So, yeah. So it was, I mean, like during the day it wasn't bad as far as like the temperature and stuff.
No, it wasn't. It was pretty good.
We ran into like snow coming up, snow and
on
rain.
The way up. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we saw snowflakes falling.
Yeah.
There was no snow on the ground. So
we saw the Four Seasons of Michigan.
Literally in a day.
in about 2 hours.
In a day. In a day, we saw all Four Seasons. For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the second day, it was I don't know if you wanted to move past the
Yeah. No. Second day, we get up, we hit a few fucking of because again, I had been up there with my family for a few years, so I kind of have like a little route that I like to take through downtown Mackinaw. We started on that route. You needed a bite to eat, we got it. We kept going. We hit a bunch of amazing stores. Where I got this t-shirt. I got this t-shirt at one of the stores. We got we saw Sasquatch statues all over the fucking place. We got a Sasquatch t-shirt. fucking like, yeah, we hit the town that day, and then
saw a the weird ass taxidermy place, the mini taxidermy.
Yeah, we stumbled across this like weird ass little museum where it was like taxidermy, like weird little animals. You know what? Here, let me I can screen share it right now because I got it. I actually have some of our pictures pulled up. We'll get to that one in a minute.
The Wacky Taxidermy and Miniatures Museum.
Yeah, let me find it here. This is me showing you how to use a Zippo.
Oh shit! Yeah.
There we go. There's a picture from the Wacky Taxidermy Museum. That one. Oh God. No. Well, that might have been from the trip, but here's one. There we go. Look at that. This is the kind of shit we saw, like little animals, like set up in these weird, crazy fucking what the fuck situations. God damn it.
That was all.
I don't know what any of that is.
That was all the the bathroom door at
a gas station?
Dixie Saloon, no.
Oh, all right. Oh, yeah. Dixie Saloon. Oh, all right. Yeah. Kevin Smith hot sauce. Sorry, everybody.
Because they said that
damn it.
You gotta go back a little further.
No. I gotta go. That's what I thought, but I actually have to go forward. There we go. Yeah. There's another weird one.
I think it was it was like a privately owned kind of deal.
Yeah, it was just like a little tiny, like 2-room thing, but it was super cool. Like all these little weird ass displays. Like,
have you ever seen Dinner for Schmucks?
Yeah.
With Steve Carell. That's exactly what this reminded me of. Like I felt like I was, because he makes all those little miniatures and stuff. And
this was my favorite, the jackalope wall. Yeah. Everything jackaloped.
They got a beer.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was like, $5. They were like, walk in, take as many pictures and many videos.
And they were incredibly friendly.
Yeah.
They were incredibly friendly. They were very nice people. I even gave them some Lost in the Dark podcast stickers, so maybe they'll be checking this out. So huge shout out. I wish I could remember the name of it. I have their card. I don't have it down here. I should have grabbed it. That's on me.
The Wacky Taxidermy and Miniatures Museum.
There we go. Hell yeah. Everybody be sure to check that out in Mackinaw City, Michigan.
It looks like it was, because it says established in 2020, so it must have been like new. Like they must have been working on this only to open it within the last year or so.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool. So we hit that.
It was just weird to like, because I saw the picture of it on the sign of it, and I was like, what is this? Like,
yeah, you're the one. You're the attention. I would have just walked past it.
Yeah,
you were like, what the fuck is this?
Well, I thought it was closed at first, and then like kept going towards it. And I was like, this is some like kind of museum or something. You walk in and they got a bunch of like, I don't know. They had like a tiny like miniature record collection of a bunch of shit. They had like just like plates, little like tiny things that they sold for like $2. They had I wish I would have got one of those Sasquatch teeth.
Yeah,
like Bigfoot teeth that they had. Just
we
a little.
Got them. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, just fun stuff like that.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool as shit, and I highly recommend it because they had a lot of little, really cool little displays and stuff.
Yeah, a little like tattoo parlor and a little like a band in there.
Yeah, they had a little heavy metal thing. Like they had all Dracula. They had all kinds of stuff. So we shop around, we hit that place, we shop around a little bit. And then we go back to the room, and no, I don't think we went, no, because we drove downtown. So we went back to the car, and then we decide, let's go check out the International Dark Sky Park during the day. And for those of you that don't know what an International Dark Sky Park is, what it is there are 7 locations on Earth that have been scientifically identified to be the darkest places, meaning the least amount of light pollution of anywhere on Earth. So these are places where you can see the sky better than anywhere, according to them, at least. When I actually think about it, I'm like, is this accurate? But I don't know. But in any case, there has been a dark sky park up in Mackinaw City for I want to say about 5 or 10 years now. And there's been a second one. There used to be just 6 in the world. Now there's a second one in Michigan, making it 7 in the world. I believe the 7th one is in southwestern Michigan somewhere. But we went to the one in Mackinaw, and we went during the day. And it was, besides the bugs, it was pretty stunning. Stunningly beautiful, like overlook on the water. Especially during the time of day we went, the sun was in that perfect position, just casting the light over the water. And we go back to the car and kind of drive. We kind of like we're parked in this weird little like cul-de-sac thing, and then we go back up to like this, I guess, more of a parking lot area, and we notice there's a trail going off to our right, because I like backed into the spot, so there's a trail going off to our right, and we were like, let's walk down that trail. We ended up walking pretty fucking deep into that trail.
It took us like almost like 5-10 minutes just to get back.
Yeah, like
without even realizing how far it went for miles.
We did not find the end.
Yeah,
we did not find the end of that trail. Like we went deep, and it kept going, and it was like hilly. You know what I mean? There were like these big hills right next to us and stuff, where the trees were crazy. It was awesome. It was one of the coolest fucking nature trails I've been on in a minute. It was fantastic. I will say, if you're watching this and you want to go to the Dark Sky Park, go during the day first, because it leads you down this wild, narrow ass winding path back to the dark park. And if there's another car coming towards you, you have to your car has to go off of the road for it. It is a 1-car lane road.
Yeah.
You have to pull off of the road for it to pass. It is that intense. Like, so like we drive back during the day, check it out, get the lay of the land, you know. Then we leave. It was fantastic. It was an amazing experience. What up, Crip Crew? It's Burton and Aaron, Lost in the Dark podcast. We are here in beautiful Mackinaw City, but today specifically, we are at the International Dark Sky Park. Check this out. Check this shit out. Then we go back to the room. And we got about, at this point, we got like a 1.5, 2 hours or so before we have a job to do. And that job was to guest for this is why I brought the podcast equipment. It was for the first time ever for us to guest on somebody else's podcast who we like have never met in person, like legitimate guests on a podcast. Not like, I mean, you know, I do consider us guests on the Bog Talk podcast, but they are our brothers. Like, you know what I mean? Like, these are people we've never, you know what I mean? It's like, it's a little different is all I'm saying. And so it was the first time for me, at least, being a legitimate guest on somebody else's podcast. And that podcast is the Michigan UFO Sightings and Paranormal Encounters podcast. Shout the fuck out to them. Everybody go and check them out. If you're into anything UFO or paranormal related, especially if you're into anything UFO paranormal related having to do with Michigan, please, which is my like wheelhouse, like that's where I operate, like please check them out. They are so awesome, incredible, and worth your time. And Aaron and I were on, by the time this comes out, either their most recent episode or their second to most recent episode. Outstanding. They were incredible. And we will be having them on this show very soon. But
it's like a fresh podcast still. It's like,
yeah, we were on like episode like 6
or
something. Like it's a brand new podcast. And it, dude, like,
just, super nice,
incredible people,
like really easy to kind of get into it with and talk to and stuff. I didn't think that we'd be going for as long as we did, but it just kind of
I mean,
going really
like I said, they're like, I think we're on episode like 5 or 6 or 7 or something like that. I've heard all their episodes up to that point, and anytime they ever had a guest on, it was like, you know, like a normal like normal people's podcast where it was like 45 minutes or whatever. You get us two motherfuckers on, they get a 3-hour podcast. It's like, is this not what we do, Aaron? Is this not what we do? We get on, we're like, all right, let's do 2 hours. 4 hours later, like it's every time. And apparently we do it on other people's podcasts.
It just it cracks me up because they were like, yeah, we don't really ever do any of this long. We got on so many tangents, and I was like, that's kind of that's just how things work with us. I don't really know.
I don't know either. I don't know how it goes either. Apparently time moves faster while we're podcasting because it just flies by, and I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's just, we sit down with full intention on like a 45-minute in and out, ends up being 3 hours. Like it happens almost every time.
It was, let's see, it was it Wayne and
Michelle?
Yeah. So big shouts out to them.
Huge.
Just being open to have us on and stuff.
Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. Being open to have us on, wanting. Did you listen to their episode with us on it?
No, not yet.
I listened to it, and they do like an intro and an outro. So I heard what they, incredible. Like, they were just amazing people. Like the kind of people where you at least for us, I feel we start to talk to them, feel like I've known you forever. Like, it's just immediately that chemistry. Cannot wait to have them on our show. Because Wayne is a heavy metal guitar player, or at least was, and has toured.
I'll say we got into some well, albeit kind of brief stories, but a lot of stories that like piqued my interest as far
very much. And I really want Michelle on too, for her experiences just as a fan, seeing things like Dio at Harpo's and things like that just fucking blew me away. So like I'm extraordinarily excited to have them on, to really be able to like dig into a lot more with them. Because I do feel like we covered the gambit on the first one with paranormal and heavy metal, but to take it on our train is I think it's going to be a lot of fun. You know, with our kind of lines of questioning that we've developed and things like that, I think we're going to have a lot of fun with them. And I'm really, really looking forward to it. We are going to get that scheduled within the next 24 hours of this recording, long after you guys are seeing this. They were incredible. Again, the Michigan UFO Sightings and Paranormal Encounters podcast. Be sure to check them out. I know it's a long name, but be sure to check them out. They have a great Facebook group. Join the Facebook group. And they have a public Facebook page now. All of it's outstanding. And it's actually fucking insane because if you pay it, if you're a member of that group or on that Facebook page, I actually just read earlier today of someone who thought they saw a UFO over Lansing within the past week. So like there are, you can be like up to like they have created an awesome community of people reporting sightings and things like that. That's really fucking awesome.
And that was one of the things that I loved is because like towards the end of the episode, like it got to a point where I was just sitting and listening to what he was saying. Like, because there was just points where I was like, man, like not only for one is this like things that I've been paying attention to and stuff that I've thought of, but it's like he kind of took a lot of the stuff a step further and kind of got me to think a little bit differently about some of the stuff that I had before. I was like, you know, I don't know what that is. I don't know what to make of that and stuff. And he exactly, but like, especially in the, you know, in the way that he was explaining it, in the way that he was kind of, you know, he went about, you know, like telling his experiences with UFOs and that
is what really blew me away.
Yeah.
Is that unprompted, I didn't even ask, unprompted. Yeah. He went into his personal story, the experience that led them ultimately to even start a Facebook group, let alone a podcast.
Yeah.
That experience led them to that. And he told that story on our episode, Unprompted. That was magic to me.
Yeah.
Because by you know, I had listened to other episodes prior. I have heard that story. Hearing it firsthand live was a totally different experience. And it was really like special to me because there have been so few times in my life where I've heard millions, like, okay, fine, probably not millions, but thousands and thousands by now, thousands. I'm dead serious. Thousands. I've read or heard or watched thousands of accounts of ghosts, UFOs, cryptids, whatever. To hear one straight from the source like that, for me, is rare. And that was a very special experience for me. Like, to hear him and Wayne and Michelle recount that story was that was wild. Yeah. So everybody be sure to check out our episode if you want to hear that. It was fucking insane. And for the record, I'm definitely not going to ask him to recount it on our show, but like, be sure to go back to that show and check it out. We're going to get into a lot of other stuff on the episode that they're on with us. We're going to go a lot deeper into stuff, but that experience was incredible. What the fuck is up, Chris Crew? Aaron and I are up here in beautiful fucking Mackinaw City. Both your hosts together for his birthday on a little vacation. This is our view from the room. Show you guys that. Fucking Mackinaw, baby. This place is amazing. I fucking love it. But right now, I wanted to give a fucking massive shout out. Huge shout out. Everybody check them out. The Michigan UFO Sightings and Paranormal Encounters podcast.
check them out. We will be guesting. We will be guests on that podcast here in about an hour or so. And that episode will be out, I believe, on May 15th. I'm not 100% sure when it'll be out. But it is the first time Aaron and I will ever be guests on somebody else's podcast. So we are very, very excited for this. I wanted to give them a massive shout out. They don't have an Instagram, so I can't tag them here, but they do have a Facebook, a really big Facebook group. Lots of people in there. Be sure to check out the Michigan UFO Sightings and Paranormal Encounters podcast. We will be on an episode coming up soon, within the next couple of weeks. All right. Love you guys. Be back.
And it was, I mean, for me, yeah, I know they're, you know, their pod, we've been going for 3 years now. You know, they started during the pandemic. They're a lot younger than us. It was still such a fucking honor for someone else to know who the fuck we are and to want us to be on, to have us as guests, to treat us the way they did, to ask us he had great questions. He had great questions.
Yeah.
Like that was nothing but a wonderful experience.
Yeah, there was a lot of, and like there was even a point where he stumped both of us with a questions. Like, you know, in doing this and in trying to come up with just questions that vary and, like, you know, try to keep it interesting. You know, every so often you kind of hit a wall and you're like, oh, well, this is kind of the same thing I've been asking, but like they're just like,
but they're new.
Yeah, like, and like what he was asking me just kind of got me to think a bit, and it was like no, it was really, really different to be in a situation where it was like, you know, because we've carried it before as far as like the interview part of it and as far as like asking the questions, but to get it back and to be like, you know, what do you think of this, or what do you, you know, like is I don't know. I still don't know how to respond to some of the like.
That's why you need to go back and listen to it, because like it's like we're used to like this, what we're doing right now, and over the last year, it's look through a lot of anxiety and stress and like worry, we've somehow managed to facilitate a good experience for the bands that we've had on. That was it was really intense for us in the beginning. When bands, you know, at the beginning of the pandemic, when bands first started to hit us up to be on, we were fucking. I mean, I can't speak for you. I was terrified.
Yeah, it was different.
Like, it was so scary. It was so intense. Like now I have like guests on. Like it was crazy to me. And then it kind of in a lot of ways was similar to be on somebody else's show like that, to be straight up like interviewed like that. Like it was different. It was different. And when I went back and listened to it, you should too, just like with these episodes, just like with all the episodes we've ever done together. I went back and listened to it and I was like, I could have answered that better. I could have done that different. You know what I mean? Like I was like, okay. We've spent the last year learning how to be hosts. And listening back helped in that process. Now we got to learn how to be guests, apparently, too. and that's a different game.
It is.
When I listened back, I was like, this is a different game. My fault. I feel like my fault in that episode was acting a little bit too much. I kept forgetting that it wasn't a Lost in the Dark episode. Like I like, you know what I mean? Like it was like I kept doing that, and I definitely when I listened back to it, I was like, I made some mistakes that I need to tighten up. But that also is the first time we've ever been a legitimate guest on another. So we didn't really, you know what I mean? Like it's the first time. So you know, it's all constant a learning process with this shit. And
but
I do still feel like it was a great episode and we had a great time.
Yeah.
If there was any part of it that was bad, it was on me, I feel. But yeah.
I just, man, you know, it's just one of those things that, like, for one, I didn't like going into it, like, until we really sat down and kind of like beforehand and kind of started like talking about stuff, and like the thing that, you know, kind of a little bit of the behind the scenes stuff, like they told us some of the questions that they wanted to ask us, which I thought was brilliant. I was like, how have we never thought of this? But also, like,
well, in fairness, I will give them that point, is that their questions were a little bit more like our questions are always pretty basic.
Yeah.
You know, they went a little bit deeper off the rip than we would. In fairness, they have a different kind of platform than we do. We're when we have someone new on, we're kind of take the mentality of introducing them.
Yeah.
Whereas they just went deep right away. But they have the platform to do that. We kind of have a different platform, so it's a little bit different. But I see what you're saying.
But even still, just to, like, I guess I was kind of thinking of it and kind of took the approach of kind of halfway through. I was like, okay, well, let me answer these kind of how I would if we were just kind of talking about it. And the first thing, or I guess like one of the first kind of things that I noticed I was doing differently, and I don't know if you can, did we ever, I'm so trash. It's been a long day. I don't remember. Did we ever post the video portion of it?
The video portion of it was never recorded.
Okay.
So it was strictly their episode. If you want to hear this, you have to go to their channel. It doesn't exist on ours at all anywhere. It was their episode.
I was gonna say, because and I actually I felt a little rude about it, and the only reason I was because I felt like my attention was taken somewhere. But it was the first time that like I almost used when you were answering whatever question whenever you were talking, I used it as a point to write down some notes and some like talking points for like my answer to the question, which I'd never done before. I mean, honestly, like, it was the first time we'd ever.
I didn't even notice you doing that.
Oh, really? Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And like, that's the reason I say it, is because in a lot of the video stuff that we were doing, I was looking down, or I was looking over a lot, and it was because I was typing in stuff so that I wouldn't forget, it for however long you would answer. Like I wanted to have something to kind of go back on, and like it was as much a learning experience as it was just something like just a fun thing to do, So
tremendous. Tremendous fun. And they even said at the end they want us maybe back on for some more.
Yeah. Well, we gotta I don't even know what to call it. We got a gigantic like historic day coming up, man.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
I don't know.
Soon,
I don't know what's gonna happen.
Soon, in less than a month. Less than a month, the Pentagon has to release all information they have on UFOs, and I know they're counting down to that day, as we talked about in the episode that we were on with them.
Yeah.
I would absolutely fucking love to be on an episode with them not long after, to talk about that report, whatever comes out. Because even since we've been on with them, even since that episode was posted, there's been some shit, bro. There's been some dude, less than 48 hours ago, Barack Obama.
Yeah, I saw that. That's why I brought that
President
up.
Barack Obama got on TV and was like, look, I looked. I don't think the United States government has any like alien bodies or anything like that they're experimenting on, but UFOs are 100% real and we don't know what the fuck they are.
Yeah.
Like
that was today too.
Like, do you okay? Consider this, dude. Consider this.
Real quick.
Yeah.
I need to step out real quick.
You need to step out. All right.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can. Here, I'll pause this recording.
Okay.
All right, Bo. And we're back. All right. So yeah. No, less than 48 hours ago, fucking Barack Obama was like, UFOs are fucking real. Like, you gotta understand, like, think about it, dude, though. Think about it. Like we're sitting here right now, fucking this close to post first pandemic ever, craziest shit we've ever been through, you know, like all this stuff. You know, now the Pentagon's got to release this report on the UFOs and everything. Former president is saying this shit, right? So it's just everything is so crazy. I don't feel like it's hitting the way it should. You know what I'm saying? To put it in perspective, you know what? Here's a shout out. A perspective that was given to me earlier today by the newest episode of one of my favorite podcasts, a podcast that has given us a massive shout out. And we hope and pray to not only be guests on, but to have them as guests on our show one day. Fucking-gantic shout out to the Dipping Milk and Cookies podcast. Please, everybody, check out the Garrett Cookie Commander Smith and Mike Master Milker Segovia on the Dipping Milk in Cookies podcast. Please check them out. Incredible, fucking hilarious, amazing, entertaining, everything.
It's
hits every mark for a podcast. They are incredible.
Yeah, it's one of those that, like, since I started listening to it, I just catch every episode.
Every episode, dude. Every episode. I can't stop. I have to hear them. I have to hear them every week. Their personalities, their chemistry, like, man, like I'm so jealous of them that they hit it such a great stride so early on. Like, because we're 3 years in and I don't even know where we are. Like, but yeah, dude, they're great. They're wonderful. But they provided me a perspective earlier because I was listening to their most recent episode, and they pointed out, because they have a new segment. They have segments on their show. And one of their segments is the Master Milker's Mysterious Mysteries, because Mike is really into conspiracies, paranormal, UFOs, all that stuff, cryptids, whatever. They actually did like a cryptid showdown thing, like our multiverse murder fest, but they did it with all cryptids, kind of like at least according to them, based on like one of the emails I sent them about that stuff. So that was pretty fucking cool. They did like a whole like multi-episode thing about it.
Nice.
Which was fucking awesome. And even though when I listened to it, I was like, guys, there's a couple things you're getting a little wrong. So I'd like to come on and talk about those with you. But that'd be awesome. Not that they were getting it wrong, but like, I know, see, that's the thing, is I know based on on certain cryptids, based on what they were saying, I know where they were getting their information, because I've spent way too long doing research on this shit, and I know it. So, you know, there's a couple little tweaks I could make to change up what they were talking about a little bit. But in any case, they were talking earlier about what we're talking about right now, these UFO revelations, right? And the perspective that they provided me, that I would like to provide to you right now, is that, okay, so right now, again, reframe it. Pandemic, all this shit going on, all this shit coming out, blah, 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 this and that, everything I said earlier. Keep in mind that there was a point in time where if you said you saw a UFO, people like your family
thought you were crazy.
Would put you in an asylum and leave you there to die. I feel like if there's a point in time in human future where we accept the existence of extraterrestrial life, not only accept it, but accept the fact that it visits Earth, that we are a part of a vast cosmic theater, that we are not alone in the universe. The human race will one day look back at locking people up for thinking there were UFOs the same way you and I right now look at the people who burned witches.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I was thinking you were going to go more the mental health realm of things.
Oh, no. 100%. Look, that's a totally different rabbit hole I could go. But what I was I'm just kind of like staying on the surface level, you know, because that's a fucking rabbit hole I could go down for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm saying surface level.
I could see that.
Like if we get to the point where it's just accepted that extraterrestrial life, not only my whole entire fucking life, I have accepted that we are not alone in the universe. Like for me, in my head, that has never not been the case.
Right.
Like that's just always been the thing for me. So for me, it's nothing. Like, yes, of course we're not alone in the universe. You got to be an idiot to think that. That's insane. It's insane to think that we're the only intelligent life in the universe. That's insane.
Yeah.
However, I understand why it would be also insane for it to have ever visited Earth. I get that. So to get to switch to the point where no, not only has it visited Earth, but it is here all the time. We are a part of some sort of cosmic community. That's a giant shift in paradigm. Like that's a whole new level. But like
100%.
So for everybody to get there, you know what I mean? Consider how fast everybody took to wearing masks, being socially distant, and all the things that just took place during the pandemic. You know, how quickly do we shift to no, aliens come here on a regular basis, being a normal part of the zeitgeist or whatever, you know, the collective consciousness.
Yeah.
Once that becomes normality, now we look back at people we locked up because they said they saw aliens. You know what I mean? Like, how is that any, you know, we locked them up, but we didn't burn them alive like witches or drown them like witches. You know what I mean? So it is a bit different, but it's still fucked up and inhumane and not right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of crazy. That's kind of something I literally didn't think about until I started talking about it on this podcast.
Well,
how do we even get here?
Hey, we'll get into that.
Oh,
more
I know. Yeah. I know how we got. Yeah, because we talked about how this was the point in our trip where we got to guest on a podcast. Shout out to the Michigan UFO Sightings and Paranormal Encounters podcast. If you want more conversation like Aaron and I just had for the last few minutes, there is plethora of it on that episode. The episode we are on that podcast, and there will be much more when we have them on our podcast coming up very soon in the future. So be sure to keep an eye out.
One of the things I will say about it is that for somebody like me and I made it pretty clear in that episode, I was like, I have never really experienced anything that I would consider as paranormal, but I was like,
yep,
I'm very open to it. I'm very like, I think if you don't believe that there's any like proof of that, then it's kind of, it doesn't make really much sense to me that you would question it at this point, because it's pretty obvious. I think I said something to that effect. I don't know, but yeah, but
you're kind of referring to extraterrestrials, right?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember what.
Well, I was informed by my roommate the other night that on the next paranormal expedition we go on, you are a requirement and you are coming with us whether you like it or not, apparently. And it's apparently time for you to experience this. So you're coming with us whether you like it or not, buddy. I'm gonna have to, if you don't want to, I'm gonna have to black bag your ass.
Well, I'm gonna be honest, like, the first few that you guys did, and like, you came back and you kind of told me about it, and then like, I don't know, we've had multiple conversations about this. Like, I'm at a point where I'm like, I'm curious about it. I just want to see what it's like,
You need to come. Yep.
Yeah. And like it's wow, I don't know how deep we want to get into this, but like it really kind of like I get
you need to come.
When I get put into a position like that, it's very like anxiety inducing, and
it shouldn't be.
Yeah,
I can tell you from experience that because trust me, like the first ones I did, I had some okay, here's what it felt like when you're waiting in line for the first roller coaster at Cedar Point. Like you feel that intensity, that anxiety, and then you do that first one, and then the rest of the day is nothing. That's kind of what it's like. There's a bit of anxiety, and then they kind of take you through the tour, and then they let you loose. And at that point, it's like, all right, I know the building. It's just a building. I haven't experienced anything at this point. Like, I have the layout. Or I had, a building, a boat, a fort, whatever, like, wherever you may be. That's, it really goes away. Like almost, it's a lot of build up, when you're driving and you get to it and it's like, oh my God, we're here, all that stuff. And then it goes away, and then it's time to investigate. And it's you're just in a thing. And unless something happens, then you're just sitting there.
Yeah.
Like it's really nothing. Like it's like it's no different than sitting in the fucking room you're in right now. Like it feels the exact same outside of like having lived there or something. You know what I mean? Like it would feel like the way you feel sitting in the living room here, or the way I would feel sitting in the room you're in right now, because I'm not used to being there all the time, right? Like that's how it would feel.
Yeah.
Like that's all it is. That's literally all it is, unless something happens. And then if something even happens, the only things that I've experienced so far just caused me to go.
Oh, that was weird.
Just
Yeah.
like nothing has ever made me scream. Nothing has ever made me jump. Nothing. The only thing that it's ever caused me is to be perfectly still and go completely quiet and see if it happens again.
Yeah.
Like that's it, dude. Like it's really nothing. Like
I got 2 stipulations. And really it's just about the location. And then we can kind of keep going with this. But first one out, and there's a reason I'm saying this when the recording button's going, because I want this on fucking record. In case you're trying to rope me into some crazy shit.
You know I would too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't want to start with a prison, and I don't want to start with an asylum or some kind of hospital. I don't like there's something about those 3 spots that I'm just like
and what's fucking hilarious to me is the things you just listed. Of the ones I've been to, those are the least active. Like those are the ones that have been like nothing happened.
Sure.
The ones where something happened were like forts.
Yeah.
Like battlefields and stuff like that. Like I haven't done a prison. What you said prison, asylum. What was the third one?
Hospital.
Like,
dude, they're like,
I don't. Yeah,
maybe.
I don't. Well, unless the asylum I went to was also a hospital at one point, I've only done that. I've definitely done an asylum, and that's where the least amount of shit fucking happened, dude. Like that was the fucking one where we left and we were like, wow, like, okay.
Yeah.
Like that was like fun and all, but like, I don't think we really got anything at all. Like, you know what I mean? Like we were straight. Like it was nothing scary the whole night. Yeah. The only times where like stuff kind of scary ever happened was like, Oh, no. Okay.
Dude,
I have done a hospital and an asylum then. Yep. I just remembered. Yep. The hospital stuff happened, but it was never scary.
Yeah.
It was never like, I never felt like I heard stuff happen, but nothing ever scared me at all. Like it never even made me jump. I was just like, ooh, I heard a noise.
Dude,
you know what I mean? Like it was never, it's not because you're at movies, you're watching these shows. It's not like that at all in real life. Like it's, trust me.
That's kind of the thing.
I've done it.
Like, I don't know if it's like, I feel, because there's a very real possibility that I, for whatever reason, might be a little more susceptible to things than I realize.
Some people say that, some people tell me that, some people tell me that, and that's why they're a little bit hesitant. But I'm telling you,
well,
just go with me. Just go with me. Like I'm not gonna do anything crazy. Like just just go with me. We'll be fine. And we'll use some equipment, and we'll see what happens. Like but it's not, you got nothing to worry about. Like you're not gonna get, you're at during the entire time, you're probably never going to feel any kind of fear.
And that's kind of one of the reasons that I feel like I'm a little more open to doing it than maybe in prior times you've asked me, because I'm very like, all right, so this is a bit more insight than I feel like I normally give, but and I don't know if it's just something mentally that I have, if it's something that that I just can't get past, but as soon as something starts to happen, I'm like, all right, I'm out, kind of a thing. I need to kind of be in a spot where it's like, okay, well, this is happening. Well, why? You know what I mean? Like, just to kind of like to be able to kind of have the experience of like, oh, that was weird. Like, why? Like, what happened with this? Like, why was that?
It's never. See, you say something starts to happen. It's never like that. Like, there's never like an anticipation buildup and then something happens like that. Never. No, it's never. It's just like a light turns on and off, or you hear a noise, and you just go, oh,
yeah,
like that's it. Like, there's no, it's not, you know what I mean? It's not. It just if you're lucky enough for something to happen, you get like to. It honestly gets to a point where, like, when you do hear something, you're like, you get excited about it. You're like, oh, what was that? Like, it bleeds the anxiety bleeds away so quickly, and then you get so quickly, like, because it honestly 90% of ghost hunting is fucking like, it's like playing concerts. 90% of the day you're sitting around bored. And then 10%, maybe something happens. That's it's actually like a perfect analogy, dude. Like, that's exactly what it's like. Like, 90% of the time you're sitting around and nothing is happening and you're bored. And then maybe once in a while something happens. Just like when you're on stage, maybe once in a while you get a good crowd or something. Like, it's exactly like that, dude. It's exactly like driving an hour away to sit and be bored for most of the time. And then maybe there's a little excitement somewhere in the night.
Yeah.
That's exact, dude.
I don't know.
I never thought about that until right now. But that is exactly what my experience has been. And I have visited many locations, every available location for this kind of thing in Michigan outside of 2 that I'm aware of. So, and I do the research. So if there's another one out there that I'm not aware of, I'm actively looking for it. But right now I only know of 2, and those 2, one of them doesn't even offer overnight shit. And the other one only started offering it like this past year or this year or something. So they are on the list.
Let me get my fucking feet wet this year, man. Fuck it.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I don't know. I'm kind of like, I don't know. I guess I'm more enticed by it than I am anything. Like, I just
you got nothing to worry about. I'm telling you, you come with us, you got nothing to worry about.
Yeah. In all honesty, it seems like more fun than it is. Like,
it is
terrifying.
It is because at the end of the day, you have like kind of access to these places, free roam. You know what I mean? Where most people don't. You can just like walk around and like, and most of these places are at least have some element of like museum. So there's like, things you can stop and look at and like read and learn about and stuff. And like, so to have like this kind of unlimited access overnight to these kind of like museum-esque places, whether you experience anything paranormal or not, for my money, that's worth price of admission alone. Like, just to be able to explore this kind of a place and learn the history and all that stuff. Like, that alone is worth ticket price 9 times out of 10 for me. So even if I don't experience anything paranormal at all, it was worth it just to be able to walk around in this place and learn the fucking history. You know what I mean? And absorb the energy. You know what I mean? Like, all that stuff. Like, it's it's a unique experience no matter what.
Yeah.
So it's always kind of worth it to me in a way, especially if the site is in any way especially historical. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And many of them are that I've been to, at least. So
speaking of historic and exciting things, we still have to talk about the last night after the podcast happened.
After the podcast happens,
dude,
back to the Mackinac trip.
Probably one of my favorite parts of this entire trip.
Yep.
Like, so we mentioned earlier that we went to the Dark Sky Park.
And you know what? I actually have a lot of video of this saved on my phone, and I intend on cutting it together and maybe even splicing it in to this episode at certain points. So right about now, there might be a cut in of us going to it during the day or something.
Yeah.
But go on.
Man, like, I don't know if it was like that night. I don't know if it was like what we just did, if it was just kind of how I was feeling that day, but like something about when we got there and we were standing there just kind of looking out at everything. And like, first of all, like my dumbass, I was like, oh yeah, it's dark as fuck out here. And you're like, yeah, it's the fucking dark. That's what it is. I was like, oh yeah, totally.
It's the Dark Sky Park.
I was like, dude, it's dark as shit out here. You're like, yeah. That's kind of the point. But after that subsided, man, like it's just like it was kind of one of those things where I never really, because we live I guess like smaller town, but even still, like, you don't get a view like that unless you're somewhere way out, like, so,
way out.
And the fact that, like, I don't know if you mentioned this earlier, but we were about like, I don't know, like 5-10 minutes away from where we stayed at.
Yeah.
Which,
if that.
Yeah. And, so like, like you said, like went there during the day to kind of scope it out, which I'm super glad. I don't know what that was. Super glad that we,
because that crazy ass road. Yeah.
Yeah. But at night, you walk out there and stuff, and then like the closer you get out to the water, it's like, things kind of open up or whatever. And then like it does take your eyes a second to adjust to it, but once they do, man, like just to be able to just stand there and just like look around and just like straight up, just like, just to have a second where it's like, holy shit, man, like this is like, like you said, this is like there's two spots. You said there's two spots out of like seven or eight
in Michigan.
Yeah. And just to have that kind of, just to be able to just, like, because I remember we moved a couple of times, and then the last time it was like, like it kind of like, I don't know, maybe it's cliche or whatever, but like it kind of like took my breath away a little bit, like it was one of those things where I was like, dude, I feel tiny right now.
Yep.
Looking at all this.
What the fuck is up, everyone? It's Burton and Aaron here. We are up here in Mackinaw City, Michigan. We are at the International Dark Sky Park, and I know you guys can't see anything of what we're seeing right now, but it is insane, and I cannot recommend it enough. I'm seeing constellations right now that I've never seen before, and it's absolutely insane. I wish my phone could capture this for you guys, but it can't, and it's absolutely nuts. Like, we're both here right now at the International Dark Sky Park up here in Mackinaw City, Michigan, and it's just insane. Like, it's cold. We are in full winter gear, but it's so worth it. It's so worth it. Like, the shit we're seeing right now is absolutely insane. I cannot recommend this place enough. If you're in Michigan and you haven't been to the Dark Sky Park yet, do it this summer because it is insane. Yeah, so that's all I got for this one. Be back soon. Love y'all. Have a great night.
Like this is insane, and it's just like not wanting to leave and stuff. Like, you know, like it just.
Yeah, it was genuinely unbelievable, and I'm so you know, I kind of, you know, in a lot of ways selfishly, you know, and I've said this many times, selfishly started this podcast to just, you know, I never really cared if anybody listened or not. It was mostly just for me to be able to record conversations with my best friends, and at least in the beginning, a lot of those conversations that I was referring to that I wanted to record were conversations with Jordan, where we would be on our drives, where we would take these long drives at night, north out into the country to where we could see the stars. And, you know, we were always fascinated with astronomy. You know, we took astronomy class together in college, and you know, like we always talked about, you know, the potential of alien life in the universe, and you know, all this shit. So I am someone who has, like, you know, sought out places to see, you know, best viewing spots of stars in my relative area and things like that. I have apps on my phone that show me all the constellations, you know, like VR, like, you know, like Pokemon Go, you know what I mean? But I get the constellations.
Yeah.
And like I'm constantly fascinated by that. I always go outside every time I see on my fucking Facebook news feed that there's a meteor shower or a comet or something coming. I always try to go outside and check that shit out, or some kind of crazy moon or whatever. So I've always been really into that stuff. I've seen some pretty crazy shit. Never seen anything like that Dark Sky Park, dude.
Yeah.
Like that was like planet Earth Natural Geographic shit. Like that.
Straight up, yeah.
I've never seen anything like that with my fucking eyes.
Yeah. It was to the point where, like, no matter where you were standing, no matter where you were looking at, there was something up there, like, and like it was, and what, you know, kind of what I was saying earlier about, like, just, you know, like once your eyes adjust to it, like, dude, there was, like, I was seeing like different, you know, because like you're kind of like, at least I am, like, I'm kind of used to looking for like the regular stuff, like, you know, like Big Dipper and the
Orion,
like that, yeah. But like you could kind of, like, it was really actually kind of crazy. Like you could see like between all of those, like there were like stars between all of that, and it was like just this, it was like a big like blanket almost of like just stuff that was in between. It was like, yeah, like, you know, just, and like, you know, anytime I would like turn around or like turn a different direction, there was always something else to look at, and it was like you can't, I can't even, like, even talk about it now. Like if you're ever up in that area, and honestly, like the fact that it's so close to everything, and it was funny because when I came back here, I was telling my mom and my sister and stuff about it, and they were like, why have we never heard about this type of thing? I was like, I honestly, I hadn't until you said something about it. But it was like, yeah,
I follow this shit, people.
Yeah, like it was just one of those things that just made me stop, and I was like, fuck, man. Like, you know, kind of choked me the fuck up, just standing there for a second and just looking at everything and just being like, holy shit.
You never seen anything like that. And
Yeah.
and I will say firsthand, the closest thing I've ever seen to anything like that was inside of a fucking planetarium.
Mhm.
It wasn't in real life. Like it was on a screen, essentially.
Yeah, man.
You know,
So it just
like
yeah.
you if you're watching this or listening to this right now and you've ever been in a fucking planetarium, like this is as close as it gets.
Yeah.
This is better than what you get in a fucking. This is the real life version, and it's 10 times fucking better, million times fucking better.
Well,
like
we should also say that there was a like where we were kind of at is like because they have a big observatory that's there, and it was closed when we went up there, but I'm sure.
Wait, are you talking about the building?
Yeah.
I don't know if that was an observatory, bro. I think that was just like a gift shop.
Was it? Oh, damn.
I think because there was no dome on the top of it.
Oh, I thought there was on the one
side.
What?
I don't know. Maybe there was. Maybe there wasn't. I didn't notice it. Maybe there wasn't. I didn't notice it. Maybe I could see. It would make sense. Like it would kind of be stupid for there not to be, right?
Well, the other thing about it is that like apparently they do different events there. There's like stargazing stuff that goes on there. There's like so it's like a public spot.
Oh yeah, it's open 24 hours. Yeah. And they do occasionally have even they have like guided hiking tours and things like that.
Yeah.
Probably on the trail that we were on, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But man, like just kind of hard to leave that, you know.
Like, it was incredible.
Yeah. Like if it weren't, and that's why I'm kind of hoping that because like I kind of feel like throughout it all, like we were just like maybe like a week or two early as far as weather goes. Like we were just like because it was cold at a certain point.
It was chilly, but there were not a lot of crowds. We pretty much had the run of the place, and that was awesome.
Yeah, because if there were a bunch of people in that spot and stuff,
it would have been a lot more anxiety for sure. Yeah. You know, now, okay. So we guessed on the Michigan UFO Sightings and Paranormal Encounters podcast. We had a plan that night on going to a specific restaurant, but we ended up on that podcast for too long. So that restaurant closed. We ended up going back to the Dixie Saloon for some dinner. After we were done with that podcast, though, I know we went to the dark park, and then you're gonna have to take it from there because I don't remember much after being at the dark park.
So you don't remember going over to the bridge and shit?
I remember being in the room. I had and you sent me the picture at night of the bridge.
Oh.
And when I saw that, I was like, oh no.
Well,
I have zero recollection of that at all.
That was kind of a spur of the moment thing, man. Because like,
well, that would have been on the way back, so it makes sense.
Yeah. So in fairness, I don't even fucking remember how long we were there. We could have been there like 10 minutes. We could have been there a half hour. I don't fucking know. It must have been. It was at least a half hour. I know that. Half hour to like 45 minutes. And so like. So yeah, we saw that or whatever, and I was just like along the way back, I was thinking like, all right, so we're, I know where we're at, and I was like trying to think of some other stuff to kind of see, and I was like, well, fuck, I've never seen the Mackinac Bridge at night. So we drove past,
and I told you where to go, didn't I?
Yeah, park next to the little there. And like for anybody that's familiar with it, I don't know if you are or whatever, but for anybody that's like looking for a spot, like, and this is like, in like to kind of back you up a little bit. This was like 1:30 in the morning. Like there wasn't really anybody out.
Oh,
it was late as fuck.
Yeah. But I knew if you had to, I know for a fact, even if I was hammered, if at that point you told me I've never seen the Mackinac Bridge at night, I would know if we're up there exactly where to take you.
Yeah.
And based on that picture, I did. Yeah.
Yeah. You were like, oh, there's a little
I know exactly where to take you. Yeah.
So yeah, well, then we saw that and stuff.
So
and
did I guide you there?
Yeah. Well, it's funny too. And like I was hoping you'd bring that up because there was one thing that I thought was hilarious. Like so we got food, right? And we had to go and get it. And like so I ran inside.
Yeah, I remember getting takeout. Yeah. I do remember that.
So I ran inside for a second. It took me a minute to get out.
I remember that.
Yeah. When I walked back to the car, you were sitting in the car like like your eyes were shut. You were like, I was like, oh man, like he's like yeah. So that was just a funny side note. But yeah, like so I mean, you know, there's that little like lighthouse that's sitting right there that's up front that's kind of next to it. And then you
red top.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that kind of leads us into Sunday. And Sunday I was like, well, the night before I was like, well, I'd never driven across the bridge before.
Well, hang on though. You did skip over one thing I wanted to mention.
All right.
We did at one point end up back in the room watching.
Oh yeah.
An incredible film.
Oh man. And it was
magic,
like,
dude. That was so awesome to me. Like
it was funny to me because I look over and you're like passed out towards the end of it.
Yeah, I probably was. But I remember a lot of watching that movie with you and a lot of what we talked about during that movie.
Yeah.
And that movie, of course, was Escanaba in the Moonlight.
Dude,
and if you've never heard of it, you're a fucking fudge sucker.
Yeah. Like and like before that I hadn't seen that movie in probably like 20 years, man.
Really?
Like, yeah, dude. You
haven't rewatched it in that long? Seriously?
Yeah. It's been so long, and like, you know, we were just watching it and I was like, there were just parts of it that like, because I remember talking about it the next day and I was like,
you remember
like, there are parts of this that I completely forgot about that are just so hilarious in that movie.
And you see what I mean? But it is the most fucking Michigan movie ever made.
Yeah.
Like no matter, like, that's the kind of movie where it's like, no matter where I am in the world, if I feel homesick, I could put that on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely. So it was, all the, you know, it's just like, it's like in a lot of ways it's like a field guide for people that don't understand what the UP really is.
Yeah.
Like it might be a little outdated, but at the same time, like I feel like it still holds up, you know. Like,
it still kind of holds up. Yeah.
So that was just sitting back and just watching that and stuff. And
that's the way things are up there, eh?
Yeah. There's something you got to know about the UP.
The UFOs are real up here. Yeah. And if you don't know where to start, go back to the beginning.
We don't explain anything up here.
We don't explain anything. One thing you got to know about Upers, we don't explain nothing.
We don't yeah. So yeah, dude, that was so watching that and stuff, and then
you know what's fucked up? You know what's fucked up is when you grow like me, when you grow up your entire life not knowing that you have an accent, and the day you learn you do, and then later, at least for me, the day that comes where you know you can do it perfectly.
Yeah.
Like in the upper accent day.
Yeah.
Like you can go, like, you have the natural cadence to go into that you never knew before. Like, what is that? What is that? Like, that is super weird, right? Like,
hey, who's gonna catch a buck? Who's gonna catch a buck this year? Hey,
hey, who's gonna get a bunch of there? Yeah, you don't have pasties. Okay, so that is a perfect bridge. Okay, so we
I gotta piss one more time.
Oh, Jesus, we gotta pause again.
Dude, this shit is like running through me like it does never. I don't know
it's
why.
Running through like a river, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's running through like Lannon Kugel's bill.
All
right, Youper. We pause here. All right. One thing I definitely fucked up on was that fucking, hey, Buckley's gonna get a buck this year. Hey, Buckley's gonna get a buck this year. That's what I meant to say earlier. I definitely fucked up on that earlier. But we were getting into our final fucking day up in Mackinaw. We've gone over the first 2 days. Amazing trip so far. Incredible time. You know, and one thing we didn't really mention is the amazing, like pretty much every shop we went into, everybody was so fucking nice and cool. Like, everywhere we went it was a great experience. But then we fucking do the dark park that night. We do the podcast, Michigan UFO Sightings and Paranormal Encounters podcast. Be sure to check them out. Shout out. And then we go to the dark park. We get food. We go to the fucking bridge at night. We go back to the room, watch Escanab in the Moonlight. That's pretty much that fucking night. And then we get to the final day. Aaron, take it away.
So I had never physically, personally myself, ever driven across the Mackinac Bridge. And if you haven't, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, it is, how would I like?
Well, I believe it is one of, if not the longest suspension bridge in the world.
And like riding in a car that's going across it is one thing, but like driving across it's another, because eventually like you hit that spot where it's like the midpoint of it where like I don't even really know what to call it. It just kind of like it's that weird like textured kind of like
it's like you're driving on like grates.
Square,
like a bunch of little squares, like a bunch of metal little squares. It formed in a block.
Yeah, I guess the thing I can closely relate to it, and it's not even really the same thing, is like, how there's certain roads around that like they have that little strip that's in the center that lets you know that you're veering off the road.
Yeah, rumble strips.
It's kind of like that. And so like there's parts of it where you kind of gotta like change lanes and stuff. But dude, like just doing that and just kind of looking out across everything and just like and for like it's like kind of deceiving how long it goes on for. Because like, and I guess that was like the biggest thing I got from it was like just the fact that like when you're in it and when you're not actually driving across it, it doesn't feel as long as it does. But when you're actually like going all the way across it, you're kind of looking out and it's like, oh shit, like there's the island, there's the hotel, there's the and then once you get closer, it's like, oh, there's the other side of it, there's St. Ignace, there's like that's something that honestly I'd really been wanting to do for a while, just because I'd never had the chance to, as far as like physically drive across it, and to be able to have that, because I know what they do, like there's like the 5K stuff that they do across it.
Yeah, they do like the bridge walk every year.
Yeah, which would be amazing as well. Just to be able to kind of step foot on it and stuff, and just kind of walk across it. It'd be terrible.
Yeah, also pretty fucking freaky, bro.
Yeah.
Also pretty fucking freaky.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say.
But when I'd say, like, I guess that kind of gives a little more perspective on just the length of it, is like when you consider that they do a whole ass like back and forth on it, and it's just one big walk, I guess. Or maybe I don't know. I guess maybe I
oh no,
it's really know too much about that. I guess like is it only down and back, or is it like
I don't know if it's back and forth or not. I don't know anything like that, but I do know that it is a big thing every year, and it does. I know they at least go across to St. Ignace at the very least. So yeah.
So to have that was very, I don't know. It was like there was a lot of stuff that we did that was very like, kind of like checking off a lot of like bucket list type stuff. You know what I mean? Like just a lot of like firsts for me, which I felt like it kind of been long overdue and stuff. And
one of them was driving across the bridge.
Yeah. which I feel like everybody has to do at least once.
At least if you live here. Yeah. Yeah, goddamn right, eh?
So then, yeah. After that, we hit up a couple shops that were over there.
Yep.
I almost bought an RC car because they got like a weird ass hobby shop that isn't like any of the others. It's just kind of like it's like just like too many parts, really. Like
it's like the nuts and bolts store in a fucking hardware store.
Yeah,
or the nuts and bolts aisle in a hardware store. But all RC car parts.
Yeah,
it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, that was
cool little hobby shop. Yeah. Shout out to David Black Photography.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
We went into his gallery.
Actually, because I gave because well, I used to probably say the Sunday that we came back was Mother's Day.
Yep.
And so that was kind of the goal for that day, was just to kind of pick up some stuff. Which I ended up getting a couple of his photo tiles, and I got one right here that I really want to kind of showcase because it is like, so that was like it's a solar eclipse from
wow.
Yeah, 1994.
Hold on. Yep, right there. Hold it right there. Perfect. Wow.
Yeah, and
that's phenomenal.
There was a few others that I got,
and that's a photograph that he took.
Yeah,
that's what all this shit is.
All the photo tiles I ended up getting were stuff that he taken in. Honestly, like if the prints and stuff weren't and I'm not saying this because like it's like, oh, that's expensive, because I fully understand why it's as expensive as it is. Being as though like he's got his own shop and stuff, and these were kind of like his own, photos or whatever. But like if they weren't quite as pricey as they were and stuff, like I probably would have walked out with quite a few of his actual, bigger pieces, I guess, because they are like, it is like, I wish I had, because the other three that I got are in the house that I'm in, but there's not new read stuff, but like there's also, like,
no, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, there's stuff like the ones I got. There's like just these crazy lightning shots over the bridge, over the Mackinac Bridge. There's, like he's, some of the work that he's been able to do and put together is pretty incredible.
Once again, David Black Photography on social media. But a lot of those prints, a lot of the really cool ones you can find in like the the $5, $10, $15 bins that he's got. The ones on the wall, a lot of them are framed up in wood, but he hand makes those wood frames as well. So it's like, that's another factor in the equation as well. But so there is, it's not all there definitely are a lot of photo prints in there and stuff like that. But there's also really high end stuff as well.
Well, it was cool because like just about everything I picked out or everything I had a comment on, he was like, he'd tell me the story on it. Or
100. Like, yep.
This is from that. This is from, or that's
he like remembers the day.
Yeah.
And that he took this shit. It's insane.
Like and
again, when you buy from him, you're literally buying from the guy that took the photograph.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's nobody in between. Like it's literally him.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And the reason I kept the one that I did is because that was solar eclipse from '94, which is the year I was born. So that was kind of cool.
That is dope.
I was like, all right, yeah, I'll do that one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just like, man, it's really like there are certain like there's certain people, there's certain like shops up there that like like one, if you're lucky enough to, and I'm segueing into the last bit because I really want to talk about the last bit. Because it was kind of a weird like spur of the moment kind of like, oh, that would be cool to kind of check out and stuff. But like it's one of those things that like it's a part of Michigan that really, you know, like there's a lot of people up there that just straight up like open up shops for passions that they have.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of like, you know, just people that are I don't want to say retired because I don't know if that's the case. Because I feel like you'd have to still be kind of
Yeah, I don't
doing
think
it to,
yeah. Yeah.
you know, but like just, you know, it's just it really kind of opened my eyes to the fact that like, you know, oh, like, you know, if you do something for long enough and if you're passionate about it, then maybe you could like, you know, like open up somewhere and have some kind of display about it or something. Like it's a spot that really it welcomes that kind of like creativity, you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of different like, I mean, you know, like, and I don't know if it's just the specific part of the state that we were in that just kind of gave me this impression. I don't know if it was just like those kind of shops were just different feeling than I felt like some of the ones on the city were, because a lot of those are like there's a lot of like t-shirt shops, there's a lot of shops that kind of are like print shops that kind of sell like a variety of the same kind of thing, and then there's like a handful of ones that are like specialty, like, you know, like, oh, there's like the knife place, there's the leather shop, there's the,
Yep.
you know, just different kind of places, but then there's also just the like, you know, the regular like touristy kind of, you know, and like to me there's like that's really cool, like that's something that I feel like it's kind of overshadowed a bit, because it's like, you know, like how often do you walk into some place around here where it's like the person that you're buying it from was the one that put it together, you know, there was the one that spent their whole life, you know, to like sell this thing that is, you know, I don't know, like it's just it
I
was
mean,
it was
I mean,
cool.
off the rip, I can think of like 3 or 4.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like not
Yeah,
not not that many considering the size of the cities that we live in
yeah,
or work in, you know? Like,
yeah.
yeah.
So I don't know, that was just cool, but so yeah, so the last day, I guess, did a little more like around the shops and stuff, and
A
then
little bit. Just
yeah,
picked up the stuff we decided we needed to get for Mother's Day. You drove across the bridge.
yeah,
We chilled in St. Ignace for like a couple hours, came back over, picked up everything we needed for Mother's Day for our friends and for our family, all the fudge and the fucking taffy that they wanted. And then got on the
got
road. And
got
oh, whoa,
pasties,
whoa, whoa, whoa,
got
whoa, whoa, whoa,
pasties,
whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, we did make one stop
but
before we got
yes,
on the road.
so um, God, like how I feel like we were only like 45 minutes out.
No. We stopped. Where did we stop before we got
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
road?
yeah, yeah. That's what I was. That's what I was trying to get at.
Pasties.
Oh yeah. Well, I thought you were talking about the other thing. Yeah.
No. We
So
stopped. Yeah.
we yeah. So driving. Yeah. So we had to like drive back across the bridge to get to, you know, to obviously
Back
leave.
to Mackinac City. Yep.
Um.
From St.
And
Ignace.
yeah. And like the whole time we were up there, I was like, you know, just like you can't leave up North Michigan without hitting up a pasty place or just getting somewhere that sells them, really. And if you don't know, then you should probably educate yourself, because this shit is bomb ass. Like,
It was fucking banging.
and I don't even like. Okay,
What are you looking it up?
yeah, I'm trying to describe it because not that kind. It's like the first thing that came out. So there's two different kinds we're talking about, and you'll know
Yeah.
the other kind that were but this was the Mackinaw Pasty Cookie Company.
Mhm.
We stopped there, and what it is it is, I'm trying to think of how to describe it. It's like a chicken pot pie, really, but
Well, it was a
without,
beef pot pie
yeah,
with rutabaga,
yeah,
beef, potato, and I can't
and
remember what else is in it. Fuck.
yeah, carrot, whole bunch of stuff. And you put like gravy over top of it. It's bomb as fuck.
Yep.
And the spot that we went to was on this show I was watching that was called, I think it was like Under the Radar.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it was something I was watching before, and it's like the show. It's like it's more of like a public access show, but it's on like every Wednesday, I think. Um, it's also on YouTube and shit. They got like pretty much, like any real like big tour. Like if you're kind of looking for just a spot to go up north, but you're not really sure where you want to go, like this kind of highlights a lot of the spots.
All right.
And in one of the episodes, the Mackinaw Pasty and Cookie Company, that was the one they stopped at, and I guess that was one of the more like major ones, like just like one of the better ones and stuff. And they kind of like show how you make them and all that stuff, but like it's like I don't know, how would you describe it? It's like a right, it's almost a rite of passage. Like you kind of have to.
Well, that, yeah, 100%. But like to people not from Michigan, yeah, I mean, like yeah, I mean, closest thing I can imagine is a pot pie. Like I can't really like think of what else would be like that. It's not in the same shape and it doesn't have the same shit inside it, but like
it's shaped like a hot pocket.
Yeah,
It's shaped like
shaped like a hot pocket, but it has a bunch of like really good shit in it.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. That's the best I
got. And
got.
It kind of looks like one too, you know what I mean? Because it's kind of like baked, you know what I mean? Like, so it comes out like golden brown like that, and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we had those. And then what did we do? We like got on the road, right?
Yeah. And then we stopped at like this. Hang on. I gotta grab something real quick.
Yeah, you do. I already got mine next to me, motherfucker.
Because all right. So and I was kind of unaware until we got there, until this whole thing happened, that they were, or it like that this spot was
Existed.
Yeah, and had been around as long as it had. And do you remember where it was at exactly? It was like
30 minutes south of Mackinaw City.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
And what it is the, I want to get the name right.
Chiller Mania.
Yeah. It's basically, it's like the series, like the American Chillers, the Michigan Chillers, the like kind of like Goosebumps style type stuff. He opened up his own shop, and I guess I don't really know
the author.
Yeah. And I guess they've been there since like 2008, I think you said.
Ish.
Yeah. But let me back up. So it was one of those spots that we saw, like we saw the signs and stuff coming into it, and then
going up.
Oh, cool. That'd be a cool like stop on the way back. And I know that you knew about it before that. So on the way back, like we kind of stopped in, and it's for the most part, it's just kind of like a regular bookshop. Like but it has all of his like series and stuff on the side. And then like on the one side there's the American Chiller stuff, and on the other side there's the Michigan stuff. It was really cool. Like it's all like horror type stuff. It's all like kind of pre Goosebumps type stuff. Like not quite as,
I would say post.
Yeah. It was definitely after Goosebumps, as far as like just the how big it was really. But just that same kind of like horror fiction kind of stuff. But it was like it was the kind of stuff that I was kind of into, when I was younger, and still am now. And so we walked in, we kind of started talking to the lady that was up front, and she was like kind of asking us like, oh yeah, like, do you ever come to your school and stuff? Like part of me feels like it was set up, like you're just kind of hanging out back there, which I guess kind of gives it away a little bit. But like so we kind of we came in, we were like, oh yeah, like we cover our school and stuff, and she was like asking us like what our favorite ones were and shit. So it was cool. And then like we hung out in there for a second, and then we're like, got what we wanted, and then kind of walked out. And so as I'm like going up, I was like, oh
well, yeah,
just,
well, no, we walked out, and because the building is all done up, and like this like haunted way, it's got like a bunch of ghost cutouts and stuff like that, and it's got like a gargoyle out front and everything. So Aaron walks kind of like out to the road to take a picture from that focal point, whereas I kind of just like stay like behind the car to take some pictures of the building up close. And I noticed him way out there taking a picture. So I was gonna I literally like just ran up to one of like the ghost cutouts or whatever, and I was gonna do something funny to it in one of his pictures. And right at that moment, the lady opened the door and was like, hey, do you want him to sign your book? And I was like,
him being Jonathan Rand.
Yeah, the author, the creator, the owner of the store, everything. I was like, sure. Like what? She's like, he's right here. Come on out. And he fucking walks out and walks right up to me and fucking signs the book. Fucking you come up, he signs your book, we take a picture together.
Yeah. It was, well, I guess kind of a funny side note was like when because like I had mentioned that, because like I don't know, either he still does or he used to do like I don't know if you call them like tours really, but like just like he would stop at different schools and stuff and just kind of talk for a while and just kind of just do that whole thing.
Or even like local libraries and stuff.
Just regular like guest visits and stuff. And which he did for my school too, when I was like, I don't know, I must have been like 11, 12 years old, or maybe younger than that, I don't know. But it was just funny because like he walked out and I was like, dude looked exactly the same as I remember him looking and stuff. And he was like, oh yeah, so I don't know, I think he was like, oh yeah, like, so I like come to your guys' school or whatever? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I was like fifth grade. He's like, oh yeah, yellow shirt. Fourth row. I was like, maybe, I don't know. I wasn't expecting that, but yeah. So yeah, then we got like a picture with him and stuff, and like we ended up like moving some random shelf. He was like, if you guys help me out, I'll sign a book for you guys or whatever, like one of the fees, like I'll give you a free one or whatever. So yeah, and it was just, yeah, man, it was like, it was just cool as shit. Like
it was awesome, dude.
Yeah, kind of extra little added
like literally on the way home, we just randomly stop at this place and we end up meeting the guy, getting a couple signed books, which I know you got.
Yeah. So man, I'll say you got a few of them.
No, I just got two.
Yeah.
The Dog Man of Drummond Island and the Leprechauns of Lansing.
And the Lansing, yeah. I got the was it Virtual Vampires of Vermont? Because when I was like first getting into them, this is one of the ones I loved. Yeah. So I just gave us a free like card with it and stuff. Like
yeah.
Like initially, I was just kind of hanging out for like I didn't really see anything that I wanted, and like when we came back out, oh nice, oh yeah. So yeah, when he came back in, I was like, well, shit. Like I feel like I have a few from when he came to our school. I don't remember which ones I got, but yeah, like it was cool. We kind of met like a local celebrity kind of deal. It was like, it was
on the way home.
Man. Yeah.
Like that was wild. We were just literally on the way home, and we just randomly stopped at this place and had this crazy fucking experience.
Yeah.
And we left literally going like, did that just that just happen?
Yeah.
Like what? That was insane.
Yeah. Obviously like 2.5 hour drive home was actually really cool. There was just a lot of stuff to look at and just
yeah. It was a beautiful day, and we stopped back at the Brick House Jerky.
Yeah.
And got some more jerky.
Told them how much we love their shit.
Yeah. I mean, man, like these are all fucking people I would totally have on this podcast.
Yeah.
Like that'd be awesome. Like, man, it was really like for a year of not being able to go anywhere or do anything, to get out and just kind of be out for a weekend. It really was, it felt really good. And by that time we had both had our first shots, and then returning that week, I had we returned on Sunday. And I had my second shot on Tuesday. And
I was on Wednesday.
No, yours was Thursday.
Yeah, you're right. I don't even know, man. Like that's how bad it was for me.
Well, for me, the crazy part is that I literally had zero side effects. I felt fantastic the next day. I got a lot of shit done, and believe it or not, my dick grew 3 inches. So
well,
so I don't know what happened to everybody else, but I think everybody should get the vaccine. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, I was straight up like in and out of a coma the entire day after. And like even when I came back from that, like I was like I must have passed out for a few hours. I was like, dude, this sucks. I hate this.
So you actually got hit from it?
Yeah, man.
You were down for a day.
Yeah. And it well, because like instantly, and I don't know why, maybe I was just in my own shit and I was like in my own head or whatever, but like I was like instantly when I got in there I was like, I don't know why, I just feel uncomfortable,
but
like I just and then like I got it and stuff, and like it kind of like the second one like the actual like it felt like I got a shot of something. You know what I mean? Like when like you get like blood drawn or whatever.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Like it was almost instantly where I was like, all right, like and it, like the mistake I made, and it was kind of funny, was not funny in the sense that like it could have been something more, but like funny in the sense that when I said that to the guy, I was like, oh, well, it kind of like hurts a little more. And he was like, just kind of, he's like, all right, well, it's like supposed to. He's like, and then, then there was somebody else that talked to me after that, and they're like, yeah, so you had a little bit of like discomfort. Right? I was like, yeah, it's nothing I'm really concerned about. And they were like, yeah, well, it was, like then they were kind of like explaining to me like, the difference between the two and why this one might have been a little different and stuff. And I was like, all right, yeah. And then there was a third person that asked me, they were like, so now that everybody else has been in your business, how's your arm doing? I was like, I was probably better off just not saying anything the whole time, because I probably wouldn't have,
right,
type of stuff. But yeah, like, so I got it and stuff. And then like that day, it was just kind of a bust. I don't know, like, but like it really wasn't until later on.
But like the day, okay, but like the day after the next day, you're fine, right?
Yeah, like I was, yeah, like because I went to work the day after, and I was like, you know, and it was one of those things that like I had to like it's the same thing as like, you know, like you got like a cold or something, like a really heavy cold
or like a hangover.
Yeah, and you wake up and you're just kind of like, you know, you like it takes you a while to kind of like get rolling with everything, but after you do, you know, you're kind of fine. But it was more just, it was a lot of it was more just fatigue. It was just,
and that's what in I mean, I can't say anything for anything other than like literally people that I know that I've talked to personally, and from people that I know that I've talked to personally, everybody that's gotten the vaccine, in terms of that context, it's like 50-50. No matter which vaccine you get, it's like 50% of the people are perfectly fine the next day. 50% of people feel like they have like a little cold or a hangover for like a day. Some people get a little fever, lots of fatigue, and then next day they're fine.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like
when I went to sleep the night before, it was pretty late, and I remember like kind of like, you know, like within the hour when I started to notice, I was like, okay, this is what it is and stuff. And then like I woke up the next day and I was like, dude, like I don't want to see anything. Like I just kind of want to sleep the day away, which is what I did. And then the next day, yeah, it took me a little bit to kind of get rolling, but I was fine after that. So
yep. So yeah, like we both got our second shot after we got back from Mackinac, and Aaron got sick and my dick got bigger. I don't know.
Well, I'm
just fucking
so
kidding.
Really
I'm fucking kidding. So obviously, but everybody get it. So so we can, but hopefully we're looking at right now actually just today we found out that we might be able to go to concerts before the end of the summer. So
I'm part Italian, so you can have those 3 inches because I might pass out from that.
Well, I was see, that's the thing is I was already like, you know, kind of like the Grinch. I was already 3 sizes too small. So it just made me normal. It just made me normal.
Yeah, it's kind of balance it out a little bit.
Just balance it out.
You're now average.
and I get HBO directly in my head.
Oh, nice.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess I just kind of want to wrap up and saying like, you know,
Dogman Moonshine.
Yeah.
Not a sponsor.
You know.
Sorry, go on.
It was one of those, and I know you probably felt the same as like, you know, like especially like the, you know, the night of and stuff, like is one of those things where it's like I didn't realize how much I needed to just get the fuck out. Get away.
Yeah.
Happened, you know?
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah, it really was like a breath of fucking fresh air. That's for fucking sure.
Just to see something else for a minute.
Yeah. And I'm happy that you got you know we got, man, like I'm you know, that little fucking detour we took up to Leelanau, to a little area, a little part of our state that neither of us had ever been.
Yeah.
And then like to just like jet over to Mackinaw and like man, like it really was like for you to have all the fucking first experiences that you got to have on that trip, like dude, that was really fucking cool, dude. Like that was a never forgetter. That's for sure. That's what I call those, a never forgetter.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to more of those.
And there's no reason that can't become a tradition at this point.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. There's and maybe we alter it, you know what I mean? Because we both like that was like kind of the first time. Yeah, that was kind of the first time that either of us really like observed in that way Traverse City. And I think it enticed us both quite a bit. I think you and I would both be down. Correct me if I'm wrong. Would you not be down to stay a weekend in Traverse City and check that motherfucker out? Because that place looked pretty fucking tight, right?
Yeah.
Like that place looked way different than I expected it to.
Yeah.
So like that would be pretty fucking cool.
Well,
to get into that place.
Yeah, and we like I guess one of the main points of trying to get up there, which we never ended up doing, just mostly because it was just too damn cold, was Taquamenon, which is way up.
It's and that it was too it was pretty chilly, A, and B, it was quite a
the whole extra drive.
Yeah, like we kind of need an extra day to do that. You know what I mean? If we want to spend a day in Mackinaw City, we need another day to go up to Taquamenon. You know what I mean? That needs to be like go up there one day, 1, 2, go home the 4th day. You know what I mean? Like kind of a thing. So but that can very easily be arranged. Like that is not an issue at all. Especially over the course of this summer. So yeah, we can. Have you been to Taquamenon?
I haven't.
Oh my fucking god!
Yeah. I've only seen pictures and video. I've never actually been there.
Okay. Okay, Aaron. Aaron. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Aaron.
I've been watching a lot of Letterkenny, so it's like on par for me. But like that is one of those spots where it's like, I want to see it at the right time. Like I don't want it to be like, oh, well, it's too cold, or like, oh, it's
Well, it's either the right time would either be the dead of winter where it's partially frozen. The peak time of fall where all the leaves are changing, or anytime during the summer.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So those are
and the tunnel of trees too. We didn't end up.
And that's typically fall shit, but I kind of feel like it would be dope as fuck during the summer too.
Yeah.
Honestly, you know what I mean? Like, I kind of feel like it'd just be cool to see it like that too.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are some spots that we could hit, that we will hit in the future. And see, the part of the reason why we shot immediately after Northern Latitudes Distillery is because we wanted to find Dogman, and we did. But also there are some locations in the Manistee National Forest, especially Reed City, that we could hit, which are the known hotspots for actual sightings of the Dogman. So there's places there we could hit too.
It'd be cool to hit up a few more different like national parks and stuff.
Yeah,
we have the full chance to, but mostly just because like
we had time limit.
Yeah,
but in the future, like especially during this summer, like time wouldn't, because of things that we have access to here, time limit would really be a factor. Like, yeah, no, we can get into that off air, but like we can rent small places, at a moment's notice a lot of times. So like it's so yeah, we could plan something. We could plan something this summer that could be pretty fucking good for content, that's for sure. But you want to wrap this one up? Because that was pretty much the end of the trip. We met the Michigan Chillers guy, and we had a great time. It was an amazing trip. It felt incredible to get the fuck out, and it really, I feel like I've we both came back to pretty fucking hectic weeks, That's for sure. But that's why this episode took 2 weeks to get out to record.
Yeah.
But we definitely came back to some pretty hectic ass shit. But you know, I do since then I have felt like, you know, kind of revitalized, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Remotivated.
I did.
Yeah.
You know, it was one of those that like, because I tend to try to whenever I have the chance to get away somewhere, I usually like to try to at least take a little bit of time to just like stop, you know, and just like really kind of like either take it all in or just kind of like, you know, just like let some shit go, you know, and I feel like with that it was just a whole year of just constant just stuff being thrown either at my way or just at everything, you know, and it was just, you know, it was just cool to have a second to just to kind of get lost, I suppose, you know, like just to kind of have that moment of like, you know, okay, like let's kind of come back and try to make sense of shit that's going on and try to kind of like refocus and recenter on stuff. And you know, you kind of you forget that when everything is just so like constant or like you're just not able to do any of that, you know, like it was really, that was kind of like really the first, you know, the first trip I had taken somewhere post weirdness that kind of really, you know, reminded me like yeah, like you know, it's all right to do this, like it's all right to, you know, to do these things, it's okay to, you know, like it might be a little uncomfortable, but you know, you'll you know, you'll find some reprieve in it, and some, you know, once you get up there and stuff, because like to me a lot of the hustle of like taking a trip is kind of stressful, you know, because you gotta like get everything together, and then you gotta actually get to where you're going, and then once you get there, you gotta kind of figure out from there and stuff, and like that's kind of where it all starts. But to actually like, you know, to really have a second to just, you know, to just kind of, you know, to look at what's going on around you, or you know, and it really it wasn't until after we did the, you know, like the podcast and stuff, and just kind of had that second to, you know, to talk about some shit, and just to kind of, you know, just to hang out and just, you know, not really take things so heavily, and just to, you know, just to be in a spot where it's like, oh, let's go outside, let's do this, let's hang out here, I want to go do this, I haven't, you know, this is something I haven't done that I've wanted to, you know, it was kind of one of those trips. So it was, like I would more than welcome the chance to do it again, and I'm sure we probably will. But yeah, it was, you know, and aside from the total like bust that was the week after, fucking yeah,
There's had a lot to do.
Yeah, you know, it was nice, man. It was
happened, and it also happened to have been so. In light of that, in a sense, it kind of happened to have been the perfect weekend to do that, because, you know, to have that a little bit of a refresher and then dive back into a fucking hectic ass week, kind of like now that week is over, and things are a little bit more level. It's like, all right, that was nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, I guess I just want to close with saying, like, you know, I know I said it before, but just like it was awesome that like it wasn't even really a question of like you want to. It's like, oh yeah, let's do this, and I have some stuff I want to do, kind of stuff. I was like, all right, cool, let's do it. You know, so
and well, really, see, that is one thing I did want to mention, actually, is that was not even necessarily the first idea. We had other ideas, and as a matter of fact, one of the other ideas we still intend on doing, which is going down to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah.
And we're not going to get into it right now, maybe on a future episode, but there's some recent news about, I don't know. Have you seen that?
I have.
Okay. Well, let's not even get into it.
That's a whole other
conversation. Oh, that's a can of worms.
Yeah.
That's a can of worms.
Yeah.
But regardless, we would still like to visit it. And we will hopefully have that as some content. Again, I'll hopefully be peppering in some footage of our trip into this video. But yeah, that will hopefully be a future pilgrimage for us to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame down in Cleveland, Ohio. And but this episode was all about our trip up to Mackinaw. It was a great it was pretty fucking legendary, all in all, honestly. Yeah. I mean there were like maybe like one or two things that like we didn't do that I wish we had done, but I mean we really kind of like hit it all we could have. And you know,
well, that's something I have kind of recognized about that part of the state is like there's like you could really, if you really wanted to, you could hit everything you want to do in a matter of like 3 days.
Yeah,
3 full days. And I feel like given the time that we had up there, given everything that we either attempted to do or did, like there wasn't really much. Like by the time we left, I was like, well, that's
we accomplished pretty much everything.
Yeah.
There wasn't much we didn't. So so that was fucking awesome. And and at the end of the day, it just leaves us with more to do this summer. So there's definitely more to look forward to. And yeah. Hopefully there will be more episodes like this where I pepper in some cool footage and shit. But yeah, you ready to wrap this one up? I feel like I already said that, but
yeah.
All right. Let's wrap this one up. This was I don't know what to call this, Mackinaw special. I don't know. The Aaron Mackinaw birthday special. I don't know. But I don't know. Yeah, that's gonna wrap up this one. We had a great trip. We just wanted to kind of like reflect on it. We thought it'd be fun to let you guys know about it. Because like, it was literally the first time either of us had gotten out in a fucking year. So like it was kind of crazy for us. And so we thought we'd share the experience. And now we're both all the way vaccinated. And as of today, they're saying, hopefully, fingers crossed, July 1st, we are fully back to open and we can go back to fucking concerts. So that would make for one of the greatest summers of our lives. I'll tell you that right now. So yeah, we'll wrap this one up. Of course, so much more to come very, very soon. And you know what, Aaron, we definitely got to be doing more fucking solo episodes like this because I miss these, quite frankly. Yeah, I miss these.
Yeah, we are pretty overdue.
We are way overdue. Yeah. So we definitely got to start doing more of these a lot more frequently again, because I these are the roots and I miss them. So but yeah, we will, of course, as always, be back again very soon with much, much more, as always. But until next time, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Raise your fucking horns. Bang on, goddamn it. We love you all to death. Good night.